Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's Lean Publishing Tip of the Day live stream. Um, Today is going to be a little bit of an exception. Normally, we talk about Leanpub from the perspective of authors, but today I want to talk a little bit about it from the perspective of readers, which, of course, most Leanpub authors will be. Hopefully, buying and reading books on Leanpub is relatively straightforward. We have a kind of ordinary store in many respects, with a couple of complications as well, because basically Leanpub gives authors a lot of leeway to set their own prices. We have a variable pricing model, and also there's a sort of number of sort of ebook formats that are available, and they're not the same for every book. So although it's relatively straightforward and everything should be displayed properly and easily, I just thought I'd do a little bit of an explainer here. If you're a Leanpub reader, this video will be available on our YouTube channel, and it'll be available on social media, etc. We'll probably put it in a Help Center article as well, just so you can have me sort of take you through a casual look at how everything works on Leanpub from the perspective of someone who just loves books. So let me just add the blog post that accompanies this live stream here on the screen. You can find this at our blog at leanpub.com/blog. If you can't find it, there's a little right on the sort of blog main page. There's a search bar there that you can use. Just go buying and reading or something like that, and you should be able to find this article, and this video will be at the top of it when it's all done and published and everything like that. So the first thing to do is to find books in the bookstore. What you want to do is you want to go to our homepage. Let's just go to our homepage here. I'm going to share a different tab. You'll see sort of featured books, sort of advertised books on the shelf, things like that, top books on our homepage. But if you're looking for books, just click books. Then you'll find all these like sort of nice books here. As I explained in the article, the default we show you basically lists. We have to decide what to show you. We decide to show you by default our sort of latest bestsellers. You can see that here in this little menu that says bestsellers last week. If you click this menu, that'll give you a bunch of other options, which I explained in the blog post. There's bestsellers all time, which is hopefully self-explanatory. There's also new releases, which is the latest kind of books that have been published for the first time on Leanpub. Leanpub books can be updated anytime by their authors. That could be just fixing a typo, or that could be adding a whole new chapter. If you've bought a Leanpub book, you get all the future additions and improvements forever. So there's a distinction between recently updated and new releases. So this new releases means new releases like it normally does in a bookstore. But in this list, you'll also see that there's a recently updated option. And if you click that, you'll see is books that have been most recently updated. Currently, I think it's all books that are updated get added to this list. It's funny because some updates are public and some updates are, in a sense, kind of private, right? So an author, if they fixed a typo because someone contacted them and said, hey, there's a typo on page 72, they're not necessarily going to want to make a big show about that. In fact, they might be like a little embarrassed about the typo, so they'll just quietly fix it, publish a new version. The next time you go to read that book, you might notice, if you'd noticed the typo before, you might notice that it's gone now. But anyway, so recently updated is a mix of both things where the author has made a big announcement. They can send release notes when they do it, when they publish a new version of the book. If they do that, anyone who's signed up to get notifications gets email notifications. You'll see a little notification actually addition in your account here on the very top right. There's a little blue 4 in my account here, which means I have 4 notifications. So that's very cool. Then we have free minimum price. So that means that some Leanpub authors can set their prices for their books. They can set a minimum price and a suggested price. You choose what to pay. You can go as low as the suggested price. You can pay, or as the minimum price, you can pay the suggested price, or you can actually slide it to the right and pay more if you want to. Believe it or not, people do that because often authors are very kind of humble and they price their books lower than they should. And people are like, hey, your book's worth more than that. I want to pay more. So then people pay more. I'll show you how to do that in just a second. But the minimum price they can set is free. And now the interesting thing about Leanpub is we've got a kind of a special kind of royalty pool that authors share who opt their books into making their books free with a membership. So if you have a Leanpub reader membership, you get access to, I think it's a couple thousand books now for free. Those are these free with membership books that you see here. So if you get a Leanpub membership, I just realized this video isn't showing the drop down, but it's here. You can see where my mouse is. You'll see things in the drop down. That's an interesting, learn things every day. Anyway, there's 2 types of free books: free for everyone. Anyone can get those books for free. And then there's free with membership. Reader memberships are awesome. It's basically a way of like making books available for free as long as you're paying for a membership. a portion of which goes to the authors, which is great. So they kind of get authors can get revenue from free books. And it makes the Leanpub Reader membership a really great value for you if you just love books. Getting access to 2,000 free books, knowing authors are getting some compensation for it, even though they're free, is a really cool idea. So that's how the bookstore works. Oh wait, let me not forget. Obviously, we have a search bar, so you can search. That's really cool. And we have all these different languages available as well. I believe most, or perhaps all, of these languages are also kind of localized or internationalized. I love how those terms go together. But it basically means that if you go to like a book that's a Dutch language book, the web page will be in Dutch, which is really cool. Yeah, that's thanks to the help of our authors over the years and AI as well. And we can do that kind of relatively that kind of translation. You can also buy bundles of ebooks and courses and tracks on here, but we're not talking about that today. We're just talking about books. So that's the lists and the languages. If you want to buy a book, let's go to Anne Marie's really awesome book here. You want to buy a book, here's what the book's landing page looks like. As I said, there's a suggested price, a minimum price. There's a nice little explainer here. We have a slider. You can slide left as low as the minimum price. You can slide right to pay more if you want to. You can also type in an amount here if you want to. And you can even buy with credits. I'll explain that in a different video. One thing to note here is that you can see the PDF and this book is available in PDF and EPUB formats. And this actually shows pages as well because there's a PDF version. Some books have both PDF and EPUB. Some have just PDF. Some have just EPUB. Most have PDF, EPUB, and read online. The reason for this is that Leanpub is very accommodating to all kinds of different ways that authors write and publish books. If you write and publish it sort of using Leanpub's book writing tools, it's available in PDF, EPUB, and read online. If someone's using our upload writing mode, meaning they're an author who's created their ebook their own way, they've got their own way of doing things, they can use our upload writing mode to upload the book for sale on the bookstore. And then in that case, it will be available. If they upload a PDF, it'll be available in PDF. If they upload an EPUB, it'll be available in EPUB. If they upload only one of those formats, it's only available in one of those formats, but it's all very clearly displayed in this section here. If you go to buy a book, one thing I should note is you can get team discounts as well, where it's sort of just automatically, you can get 3 copies, 5 copies, 10 copies, 15 copies, 25 copies for a sort of collective discount. If you see this team discounts option on the page. But you can also, so this is the way you buy books. Oh, we've already got a test one in there. You just click add to cart. That opens up this nice little cart. If you want to give the book as a gift to someone, you just click gift, and then you can add their email address and a little note. And they'll get an email where they can choose to redeem the purchase. That's a really awesome feature if you've got friends and family, if you've got students in your life or something like that. Buying them books and giving them the gift is a great surprise, very fun thing. You can also click this edit button where you can change the quantity. So believe it or not, sometimes conferences buy books. If you're a self-published author, you will be very excited by this. Ebook author, you'll be very excited by this feature. People can order, many books all at once. And then we've got help center articles that explain how those get sort of distributed by email and stuff like that. And if you want to get a book out of your shopping cart, you just click the trash thing there. And then you can check out with credit card. In my location, I can also check out with PayPal. It's not available in all locations, but it is available in some places. So that is how you buy a book, and then you just go to an ordinary form and stuff like that. So I won't show you that. Oh, yes. So another really interesting thing, this is for a tip for authors. One of the really cool things, if you actually add a book to your cart and you're a Leanpub author and you have unpaid royalties, so you've published a book on Leanpub, people have been buying it, you've earned some money, but that money hasn't been paid to you yet, you can actually use that money to buy books from other authors or from other authors on Leanpub, which is just a really amazing thing about building a community of self-published authors from all around the world. Basically, what it means is if you love reading and you love writing, you can feed your reading habit from your book or books that you've published and written. You can actually see like, oh wow, I've earned $20 from my book. Now I can go buy a $20 book. So that is a very, very, very cool feature, and you'll see the ability to pay with royalties in your shopping cart if you have that ability unlocked, as it were. We also have community edition books. So let me switch to one of those. Here's a really great community book. I've already got it. Um, the way these work is it's a little subtle. It's not used by too many people. We should probably do more to promote it. But you can click this little, if you see it, you can click this Get Community Edition button here. Yes, you can see my mouse on the screen. And then the way you buy this book is by sharing your name and email address with the author. That way the author can add you to their mailing lists and stuff like that. This is a very, very common and popular way for content creators to share free stuff, or to share stuff for free with their followers and supporters and stuff like that. But in exchange, you give them a little bit, which is just your email address. So that's a very common thing. We've had many people, authors, ask us for this over the years. So yeah, so people can set up these community editions, which are typically a subset of the whole book. You can get this subset for free. Don't have to spend any money on it. Just share your email address and get in the kind of like newsletter or what have you for that author, which if you like their book, you probably want to hear more from them as well. After you buy a book, it appears in your Leanpub library. This link is the same for everyone, which is very important. So if you go to your library, let me just share this tab. Here's what mine looks like. There's a lot of test books and stuff in my account. But what you do is you just click on a book. Actually, we've got list view now for anybody long-suffering Leanpub users who like lists. I am a list person. This is a really amazing option here. And yeah, what you would do is you would just click on the book. Oh, maybe we've got a bug. Let's see. No, you click the title and that pops it up. Let me just click on one of the books from my old doctoral thesis here. This is a chapter of my doctoral thesis that I published on Leanpub a long time ago, partly just test stuff. And here you can see the available options. There's the PDF that you could download, the EPUB that you could download. We've got a little Send to Kindle thing that you can use. You can download the EPUB and use Amazon's Send to Kindle app. But we've got a little button. You can, there's a feature where you add your Kindle email address, and you can just click this to send to Kindle. And then we have the Read on Leanpub thing. So PDF and EPUB are probably straightforward to most people. What does Leanpub's reader look like? Let's make sure. Oh, it opened up a new tab, which it should have. So here's what it looks like when you're reading a book on Leanpub. You get sort of table of contents and stuff on the left here. For anyone interested in the topic that I wrote about, the poet Samuel Taylor Coleridge, he did a lot more than write poetry. He also was a kind of radical lecturer. He had a newspaper that he wrote and edited, stuff like that when he was a young radical. So that's kind of what this is about. Oh, and we've got a bug. So there we go. Going live. Begin reading didn't work. Let's see if this works. Yeah, so you can just click on the chapters. And they're really nicely formatted and everything like that. I will make a note about that begin reading bug. So let's go back to the main thing. Finding an updated version of a book is really, really easy. So I probably mentioned already in this video that Leanpub books can be updated anytime by their authors. Finding an updated version of the book is actually really easy. It's sort of funny that people often kind of confuse themselves by thinking there must be some complicated thing to do here. There isn't. Just go back to your library and download the book again. Those download links always point to the latest version of the book, and so does the sort of read online thing as well. So finding an updated version of a book is just as easy as finding any version of your book. It's the same thing. Go to the library, download it. Yeah, and so I've already shown you these ways to read a book. The last thing I'll mention in this video is that if you're a Leanpub reader, you can actually create your own book anytime you want. It's really easy. Obviously, you work at your own pace. The really cool thing about Leanpub is that, often writing a book can seem like a very daunting thing, but on Leanpub, you can write one chapter and hit the publish button for the first time. And there you go. You've got a book out. And then you can work at your own pace. You can add chapters as you go. This is a really exciting way to write a book because you might get readers right instead of waiting until the book is done and like sort of crossing your fingers. When you do a big announcement or book launch, you can actually build your readership over time. It's a really great way to write a book. So if you're interested in reading Leanpub books, don't always keep in mind that you can become a Leanpub author yourself. All you need to do is click the create book link, which you'll find in various places on Leanpub. Create a book. It's free to write and publish in the browser editor. So you can just get started anytime you want to. So that's today's lean publishing tip of the day for readers, mostly. There were a couple of things in there for authors as well. But yeah, hopefully using Leanpub to find, discover, buy, and then read books is relatively easy. We do have it's sort of complicated because, we actually offer you a lot of options, like you choose what to pay, authors choose what the prices are. Things like there's sort of various ways of writing and publishing books on Leanpub and stuff like that. But the purchasing process is relatively straightforward. Everything ends up in your library. It's that easy. So thank you very much for watching this live stream today. If you were one of the few people who watched it live, if you came in late and you're interested in this, you'll find the accompanying blog post on our blog at leanpub.com/blog. There will be a link to it in the description, and it'll be on our Lean Publishing Tip of the Day channel, or well, it'll be on our Leanpub channel on YouTube, but it'll be in the Lean Publishing Tip of the Day playlist there as well. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you like this kind of thing. And yeah, just a programming note. We're back after a hiatus doing these Lead and Publishing Tip of the Day live streams. We try to do them every weekday. We're going to try and do them at around noon Pacific time. I know being more specific than that and being consistent is the most important thing. So we're going to work on that. And probably noon Pacific time is when we're going to do these. And I'll get better at StreamYard and looking in the camera and all that kind of stuff. So thank you very much, everybody, for watching this live stream today.